what about the study material? What study material to follow?
Well, ma'am, I followed only the bare acts,
Okay.
just the bare acts. But
Okay.
I understand that there might be certain people who find it hard to read because their acts are quite dry. Right? Companies Act, if you say, it's quite monotonous and quite dry. You need a lot of motivation to stick to it daily. So I understand that some people might need notes in the beginning. But in the end, I recommend to stick to the bare acts only. Even if at the initial level you take help of notes or some coaching institutions, even iExamB provides various notes on Companies Act. It provides video lectures and securities law also. Like for all the subjects, they have video lectures and all. But when it comes to the final examination, I would strongly recommend sticking to the bare act because the question directly comes from the bare act. So making to the final list only depends on how many times you have read that bare act. You might also get certain questions wherein you have to fill in their sentences, you have to complete their sentences. For that, no notes would help you. Only if you have read the bare act 10 or 12 times, you might be able to complete their sentences.
Right.
But I personally find mocks very helpful. Mock is, I think, because half of this MCQ, any computer based MCQ type question paper, half of the strategy depends on how you solve the question paper. So
Right.
mocks are very essential.
And what about the paper one in phase one? Quant, reasoning, English, GA. How to go about its preparation?
Yes, ma'am. Uh, all right. So, ma'am, can we first discuss the notification process?
Sure, sure, sure.
Yeah,
So
right.
many students are asking when will the notification now come? So what do
Yes.
you think can be the answer to that?
So, yeah, this is a very pertinent question, and I entirely agree that you do not get motivation till the notification is out, right?
Right.
But this is a very wrong approach because, say, there are certain vested interests. Even if they are your competitors, they might be interested in spreading rumors that notification might not come this year, right? Even when I gave this examination in 2021, I had faced a lot of this trauma that people were spreading rumors that notification will not come again. SEBI recruits only once in every 2 years. But let me assure you that when will SEBI recruit next? Only the HR department of SEBI knows. Right. Nobody knows how many vacancies will be there. Nobody knows when the notification will come out. Nobody knows uh, like what will be the examination date. But I agree, it is a gamble. You start now, you've given a lot of time and you've given a lot of effort. You might take more time than others because notification has not come. But let me assure you that it is a gamble worth making. All right. Even if you start now, right, you will always have an upper hand. If I had given into rumors back in 2021, I would not have cleared it this time because the notification that time was quite sudden. Right, there was no gossips, no rumors that the notification is about to come, and the notification came in December. Right, people were even saying that notification will come in April. They were giving all sorts of calculations that okay, 1.5 years this, now 1.5 years that, but that is all useless. So best time to start is to start now if you want to definitely clear it. Because say I'll tell you an insider fact. Uh, the entire selected candidates of UR category, the entire 10 or 12 selected candidates lie in 2.5 marks difference. Right. So 0.25 difference can also make you kick you out of the list. So start now. Be a perfectionist in what you are doing. It's a good thing that even if the notification does not come this year, December, it is a good thing because you get more time to prepare. So you can prepare till May, but make sure that you get the selection.
Right. And so we were talking about the paper one part.
Yes, ma'am. So paper one part involves four sections. What is one is current affairs, one is quant, third is
Reasoning
reasoning,
and English.
and
English.
English. Correct. So what I did personally that I did not study for any of these till the time notification came up
Okay.
because in SEBI, yeah, I know it is quite risky, but what I observed is that in SEBI, you only have to get 30 marks in this paper.
Right.
Out of 100, you have to get just 30 marks, right? So, and in both my attempts, I have got zero in quant because I did not attempt a single question of quant. And neither did I waste any of the time in attempting or practicing what is not helping me into getting final list,
Correct.
right? So, for paper one, I would suggest play on your strengths. So, my strength was English and reasoning. For what I did, from the time of notification, I started practicing a mock daily. All right, there are a lot of coaching institutes and mock tests which will be available for at least for phase one, paper one. You will get a lot of mocks. Even if you give IBPS SO mocks, it is quite overlapping because the kind of questions are similar, right? And the level of accuracy these mocks give about the type of question that is going to come is commendable, right? Because they will not ask you any other question apart from the questions which are given in these mocks, right? So what I did, I personally took three mock series. First is iExamB free mocks. All right, there are free 5 mocks given for phase one, paper one for everybody. I did those. I did practice, practice mock. Yeah,
So,
practice mock and test book. These are two other institutes which provide paper one phase one mock at a quite reasonable price. So I think that should be accessible to everybody. Also, so as I said, for phase one, paper one, you just have to play on your strengths. You do not need to devote much time to it. I have seen people devoting entire months for current affairs. You do not need this for that. All right. If you are prepared well enough for you just have to get 80 marks in both the papers. Like out of 200 marks, you just need to get 80 marks. All right. So I recommend practicing every day a single mock at the time of examination. Like, so if for example, the exam is going to be held at 9 o'clock, you start your mock at 9 o'clock so that your brain is in the habit of remaining active in that period, right?
right.
So, so start practicing mock till from the time the notification comes. And even if you are not confident into not preparing anything for phase one, paper one, so you can do one thing. You can read current affairs of 3 months from the time of notification. I would recommend going back 3 months and start reading current affairs since then till before 10 days of the examination. Say, for example, examination is on 20th, you need to read current affairs till 10th. All right. So for current affairs, I used Bpedia. I exam Bpedia. It is quite informative. Also, there is one Hindu review. Right, you can do that if you do not have much time. Like me, I did not. I do not want. I did not want to give a lot of time to current affairs. So what I did, I read this Hindu review. It's only a 35 page document, which you can easily finish in 2 to 3 days. So you just need to read three of those documents, and you will easily score 10 to 12 in in the 25 marks current affairs section.
Okay. And what about say the law part? Since the major chunk is from law, and we need preparation for paper two, both in phase one and in phase two. So one thing you have already
Yes.
suggested to go for bare acts, and even you have to
Yes.
read the bare acts again and again. So apart from bare acts, what all sources to practice? Because you need mocks and questions from that also.
Yes. Correct. So just a second. Yeah. For what I did for paper two, is that one thing I am remembering for phase one, paper one. What I did used to target was that I targeted a say score of 50 in all my mocks.
Right.
If I'm getting 50 marks in my mocks, you rest assured you'll easily get 40 marks in the actual examination. You might also get more because sometimes, say for example, I exam B mocks, they are usually in a higher difficulty level. So
Yes.
you can easily, if you are getting on, like say for example, 45 in I exam B marks, you should be quite confident that you will clear this phase one paper one thing. All right. Now for paper two, what I did not study anything specifically for phase one at all. Since
Okay.
the time I started preparing for phase two, paper two.
Right.
That is all. Right. There are certain sections, say for example, contract acts, which is quite different in phase one and phase two. Like phase two syllabus is altogether excluded in phase one and vice versa.
Right.
So I did not study phase one syllabus at all, even in that scenario, because I was quite confident that okay, fine, if I complete phase two syllabus, I will be easily scoring around 40 to 50 marks in this paper, or even more than that. I did actually score 90 marks in phase one, paper two.
Right. Okay.
So because phase one, paper two is quite easy, right?
Very.
Even if you are a third year student in your 5 year integrated law course, you will clear phase one, paper two if you give it sincerely. What law students usually encounter difficulty in just paper one of phase one, right? So that for which I have given a foolproof strategy. All right. After that, now when we come to phase two, paper two, I'll go to the descriptive part later on.
Okay.
Right. You can approach it that way. Right. It entirely depends on how you are comfortable studying the Bare Act or studying the notes, then the Bare Acts, or watching the videos, then the Bare Act. But ultimately, one has to come to the Bare
Correct. And what about IBPS SO? Then there are banking laws in IBPS SO, and even some more acts like RTI, competition. You have to study these for IBPS SO. So how to approach these part?
What I did, ma'am, for IBPS SO, apart from the SEBI syllabus particularly, I did not make any notes because one thing I noticed that whenever I used to make notes, I used to substitute the Bare Acts for my notes, which is very wrong because you are nobody to judge what is important and what is not and what SEBI might ask. So do not make notes at all if you want to do something to in order to better remember it. You just write on the margins of the Bare Acts anything which you might feel important. I used to write entire sections again so that when I read it twice again.
You're right.
Right. So you do not need to make notes for SEBI. What I did apart from SEBI syllabus for IBPS SO is that I used to make notes. My target was that only the important things, like for example in negotiable instrument, say what is the penalty, how much deposit has to be made if one has to go into appeal. These details. SARFAESI ka what is the procedure? Like how many days creditor gets before taking possession? How many day debtor gets for giving clarification?
Right.
Also, what is the section number? So my target was that depending upon the paper, depending upon the pages one Bare Act has. So, for example, SARFAESI it has 60 pages, right? So my target was that the entire note should come into 3 pages. That is all. Only the objective part, only the certain things which MCQ can be made.
Right.
Only those parts. So
Okay.
I used to write, and my entire IBPS SO notes were completed of around 15 or 16 acts I studied. It was completed in around 18 pages.
Right.
So it used to take me hardly an hour or two to revise the entire IBPS SO syllabus apart from what I did for SEBI.
Okay. And Rohan, so you prepared for UPSC, then you shifted to other niche areas for legal, IBPS, SEBI. So any things that you experienced, any certain points that you can guide the students through? for to keep in mind, and while preparing, how you kept yourself motivated, because it's a continuous process. You missed by
Yes,
only 1.25 marks in the previous notification. So again, you
yes,
will have to motivate yourself. So any certain things that you felt you want to share with the aspirants?
yes, ma'am. I understand it might be quite disheartening to be unemployed for a long time. Also, when you have received such a professional degree, such as law, you can easily get a job anywhere. If even if I wanted, I could have got a job, and my friends were working. And it is, I know it. I understand it is. It might be quite demotivating for you to just sit and study after studying for 5 years. So, and also there is one aspect of uncertainty that you do not know when will you clear any of such examinations or will you clear it or not. All right. But trust me, hard work pays off. Right. I have graduated in 2019. I did nothing but study for 2 years. At least 1 year I sat down to study for civil services. 1 year I did for SEBI. But if you are done with, say, you have to clear your priorities. You have to get your priorities right. If you want just to get an employment, you are, matlab, you can easily go in and get an employment. You have a professional degree. Anybody will pay you at least a good sustainable amount. But if your priority is to clear any of these examinations, especially in the government sector, your priority number one should be that. Say what I did after my first attempt in SEBI, when I was quite confident that I had cleared the syllabus. Right, there's nothing more. The cost benefit ratio of devoting further time is not that high. So I took up freelance work. I used to take in a CLAT coaching. I used to teach. I used to give out lectures. So you can do that easily. Also, there is certain freelance legal content writing which might keep you interested. Also, you will be making something, so you will be motivated. That is true. Also, you can pursue your hobbies. It's there's no harm if you like going to the gym, you like swimming, you like jogging, you like listening to music, you like watching movies. I do not discriminate in any of these. I personally used to watch movies like after a day of stressful study. I used to make sure that I watch at least one movie per day. So that was something to look forward to at the end of the day.
Right.
Like, okay, fine, चलो इसको जल्दी खत्म करते हैं, but so that I can watch a movie, right?
Yeah.
So target yourself. Like, if you are not working, you can easily study 8 hours a day. I said 8 hours a day should be more than enough. If you give it over a long period of time, it accumulates a lot. So target yourself 8 hours a day. Do whatever you have to do. I did not. If I say I sat and study, I did not sit and study particularly. I used to roam, I used to hang out with my friends and everything. There's no such kind of prohibition which is, burdened upon you that, okay, fine, because you are studying, because you have to clear examination, you do not get to live your life. There's no such thing.
Right.
All right. So whatever keeps you motivated, you do that. There's no set pattern for, a straight jacket formula which fits all.
Okay. So, Rohan, that was really very insightful. And I hope it will help a lot of aspirants to prepare further for SEBI, IBPS, or any other exam. So, thank you so much for taking out your time to share
Ma'am,
your journey with us.
we
You
did
want
not
to?
come to we did
Yes.
not come to the descriptive part.
Okay. Sorry, I forgot. So, yes, about the
Yes, ma'am.
descriptive English. So, how
Yes,
did
ma'am.
you prepare for English descriptive? The essays, comprehension, précis?
So I was particularly very weak in descriptive. Means I am not weak in writing as such, but I do not know till date what SEBI wants,
Okay.
or say even SEBI or RBI, say in that matter, what they want when they ask for descriptive English. All right. So in my first attempt, I scored a decent marks of 60 in descriptive English, and in my second attempt, I scored 56. All right. But one thing I made sure was that I analyzed all the cutoffs, all the scores which previous year candidates used to get. So I noticed that the entire marks which people get in descriptive English ranges between 50 to 70. That is all. All
Okay.
right. So even if you put in a lot of effort for your descriptive English, you might hardly gain 5 or 6 marks. And in SEBI, particularly, it out of say 85 marks, we scale it down. In SEBI, we scale it down. Right. So descriptive English has weightage of 1/3 in SEBI. Right. And 1/3 also that of 85 marks. Means even if you score 100 out of 100 in descriptive English, which is not humanly possible, you will only get 28.33 marks out of 85 marks.
Right.
Right. Wherein if you score 100 out of 100 in your phase 2 paper 2, you will get 56.66 marks. So that is a huge difference here. Right. So